Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Suman Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today I want to speak about changing your direction. A lot of people, they change their direction way too much. They change their direction way too much. You've got to have a vision in your mind. You've got to have clear goals in your mind if you want to get into the flow state. But it's very simply the opposite that I'm seeing. A lot of people have very unclear goals. They don't know exactly where they're going. They have no idea what they want, and they're kind of going by society standards. They're kind of like, oh, Gary Vee told me to do this, so I'm going to do that. Or, oh yeah, this other person said that this was the right thing. And it's almost like we're these jungle cats, right? Taking advice from little turtles or monkeys or ostriches instead of actually trusting our own internal self. What are the other jaguars telling you, in a sense, instead of what these monkeys are telling you? I'm paraphrasing this from Lao Tzu, but basically said if you don't change your direction, you may end up where you're going. You may end up where you're heading. If you know you're going in the wrong direction, then by all means change your direction to the right direction, okay? Now, I don't mean like, oh man, you can't change direction. That does not mean don't be adaptable. Of course, be adaptable. The flow state is all about adaptability, versatility, but that does not mean that you're going by something, that you're forced to do either. There is a kind of pressure to succeed, to do well, to do this, to do that in a lot of societies. So, if you are in a job currently where you're not really enjoying it, or you feel like this is not really my passion, I'm supposed to be doing something bigger, use that current job right now to leapfrog you to the next job, or have a side hustle, do something on the side. Like, I would definitely say that you've got to do whatever you can to fill your cup. Make yourself feel worthy, make yourself feel fulfilled, and do the things that make you happy. There's a certain sereneness that comes from taking positive action in the direction that you truly want to go. I've often noticed, even when I'm feeling bad and I help others out when they're feeling bad, I feel better. And a lot of people think that, oh man, you've got to fill your cup and you can't look after others. But oftentimes, there's this helper's high, there's this altruistic thing of like, as you're helping someone out, you feel good, you feel better about yourself because you've given something. You've given even when you couldn't give. Perhaps you were lovable to them even if they were unlovable at that time, and there's a certain kind of honor. You know what I mean? It's a certain kind of honor associated with that. But then there's also this idea that you're doing something over and over again and it's not suiting you. That means change direction. But if you have a vision and you've got sidetracked somehow, or you've gotten distracted somehow, or somebody's told you it's not possible, whatever that thing is, get yourself to think back to that vision. Because a lot of us had incredible visions in childhood. Then as we grow older, we were like, reality sets in, and then we don't ever think about that thing again. And the moment we stop thinking about that vision, it disappears. Because our attention is what keeps it alive. So there's this burning desire in the back of your mind, like, man, I still want that thing. I don't care if I'm 50, 60, 70, 80. Like, I still want that thing, and that is going to happen, like, no matter what. And that's a kind of persistence that you need, a kind of dedication that you need, that you must foster, first of all, in your own personality, right, in your identity. Because if your identity doesn't say that I'm a persistent person, or I'm the person who's always a quitter, that's not going to serve you in terms of your goals. So you got to create an identity that serves you towards your goals, okay? So let's say that you want to, Nietzsche said that a snake without its skin perishes, just like a mind without changing an opinion. Then that stops being mind. So if you have an idea that you keep thinking about over and over again, and that opinion doesn't change over time, it never changes, it's unchanging, that stops being mind. It starts becoming soul. It starts becoming something greater. It starts to become unchanging. There's an immovable aspect to it. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, opinions change just like the mind changes. Mind changes over time. Someone has an opinion that changes in the future. They say, nah, I thought that a while back, but not anymore. But if there's a certain vision, a certain legacy, a certain calling, what do they call it? A calling, right? I've always wondered this. A calling, like a phone, like your hello? Something is calling me, right? It's a vibration. It's a sound. It's a pulling towards. It's a magnetism. You wake up to it, right? Someone calls you on the phone, you're like, oh man. But oftentimes we see our dreams calling and then we put it on silent mode or block the number or, something along those lines. And listen, you gotta pick up when your dreams are calling you, no matter what. Otherwise, your dreams will find another way to get to you, no matter what. They'll get you through fax or email or social media. They'll get to you somehow. Even if you block your number for the dream, they'll still get to you somehow. Whatever we resist will persist. You know what I mean? So, same with our dreams. You can't say no to your dreams. You've got to accept what they are, and you've got to amplify them, and you've got to change your approach. If you feel like, oh man, I'm doing the same thing for 20 years now and it doesn't feel right, like I've got to try something new, that's absolutely fine. But that doesn't mean you're changing direction, does it? That doesn't mean you're changing direction. You're trying something new. And in your wording, you said you were trying something new, not that you were leaving the old thing and doing a new thing. So even in your vocabulary, it's showing you that you don't want to leave that original standpoint, okay? Now, if you're fully committed in changing trajectories or going towards somewhere new, I understand. Because a lot of times we are kind of bored with what we're doing currently or it doesn't really suit us. You know your calling better than anybody, right? I can't tell you what that is. You got to know that yourself. And you gotta explore it and explore your passion and explore in depth what you're really good at. It's like, this was the reason why I studied liberal arts, guys. Because I was like, man, I don't really know what I want to learn, And I like that liberal arts idea of like trying everything out and seeing what fits, And that really did help me during that time because I was like sort of confused. I knew I wanted to do psychology, but I saw there's so much negativity in there that I didn't know if that's what I really wanted to do. I was first of all interested in the psychology of creativity. They had, these things called outsider art, right? They were beautiful, by the way. Outsider art. You guys could Google this, but it's like basically people with mental illness making art, right? And it's amazing, It's just so it was a very interesting subject, but I didn't know if I really wanted to delve fully into that. But then I came across positive psychology as science of happiness, and I was like, man, this is kind of what my soul signature is pulling me towards. Of course, the world isn't always sunshine and rainbows and unicorns, right? And that's not what positive psychology is. It's a very logical way of looking at these good vibes or good feelings, in a sense, positive emotion, perma, right, all this leadership, right, all this kind of stuff that just you need to be able to thrive in this world. And that gave me a basis and an understanding of that. I started to understand that, like, look, the universe is giving me this opportunity to do this, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do. So I leaned into it. Was it difficult? Yeah. Applying for visa, doing this, doing that, paperwork, all this kind of stuff. Yeah. Going to London, I've never been there before, right? Like, for my master's, I'm talking about in 2017. Throughout working, I got another nudge from the universe telling me to go towards coaching because I studied positive psychology and coaching psychology, right? When I started coaching people for free, I started to notice patterns. I just noticed patterns. And I knew that my vision would still slowly evolve over time. Now, a year after that, I didn't really find many clients here and there. I did have a few clients, but I never really formulated it into a plan or a business plan in a sense, right? And so I did when I hired a few of my first clients for high-end. Then I started to really ramp up what I'm doing, and really moving towards that even more. And right now what I'm doing is slowly fine-tuning. I really love this word, fine-tuning or refining. It's like getting closer to your vision. It's like really being able to take the system of what you do. And it's always, my business coach really helped me to formulate this into the flow state thing, right? And shout out Joe Nicasio. But basically, I've understood that content is not king, context is king. Where does flow in what I'm doing and what I'm saying? Where is that placed in the larger scheme of things? And the larger scheme is the process that people follow in my academy, where they win. Essentially. That's what they do. I mean, there's no other way to say it, is that we decide on where you want to get to, what your flow state superpower is, where you can lean into that, and how you can come into your true authentic power again from a bad state. And that's not easy. It's never easy. In fact, a lot of my clients, they break down at times and they're like, man, I don't know if I can do this. This is too hard. It's always going to be the same. I've tried everything. Yes, people do go through that process, but then eventually there comes a point where you break through and you lean into the new approach and you take positive direction and steps each day, and you fine tune and you just keep chiseling away at what is real to you. And as you keep doing that, you don't change your direction. You don't. You simply don't. You just put the intention out there into the universe and you keep chiseling away. And you hold the image in your mind, and the moment you forget about it, you remind yourself again, wait a minute, this is my vision. I don't know why I'm doing this other thing that's not in relation to my vision at all. Alright, back at it again. And I think some people need a reminder, and so I recorded this video today to remind you, to remind yourself of your vision, of what you truly want, and get your goals very, very clear, and take a step forward towards your dreams every single day. And they're not dreams, right? It's just their actual desires, like their actual goals. And goals, the thing is, goals can also change over time. You know what I mean? Like, you have one goal, you accomplish it, you go on to the next goal. This is not what I'm talking about. That's why I don't like that term goal. I'm talking about a vision, man. I'm talking about a legacy. I'm talking about a long-term vision for yourself that you see your life formulate into. And you slowly get closer to it. And it feels like you're working toward something. You're expecting something. You're gaining momentum towards that thing. And, a lot of people don't know what their flow state superpower is. If you want to join the Telegram group, click the link. I'll keep it in the description, but basically we have a group of superstars on there, all from different walks of life, all interested in bettering themselves in the flow state. It's absolutely free, so feel free to join. It's daily coaching, accountability. So if you want to get much more, closer to what I'm doing and much more intimate to my process, then I would highly recommend you check that out. Having said that, hope you have an incredible day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary.